The hidden truth about aging brains: most people think dementia and memory loss are just part of getting older, but that's not true. Every day I see patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who believe their fading memory is irreversible. But modern neuroscience says otherwise. In fact, your brain has the ability to rebuild its own connections, grow new blood vessels, and even regenerate tissue if you give it the right tools. Here's the shocking truth: memory loss doesn't start in your head, it starts in your blood. Your brain depends on over 400 miles of microscopic blood vessels that carry oxygen, nutrients, and energy to every cell. When those vessels become stiff, blocked, or inflamed, your neurons suffocate. That's when confusion, forgetfulness, and cognitive decline begin. But what if I told you that you can reverse that process? Today I'll show you how to awaken your brain's circulation system naturally, increase oxygen flow, and protect your neurons from shrinking, all through simple foods and habits that science now confirms can stop dementia before it starts. Why dementia begins in the blood, not the brain? Most people associate memory loss with damaged brain cells, but the real culprit lies in the bloodstream. Your brain makes up just 2% of your body's weight, yet it consumes 20% of your oxygen supply. To sustain this demand, it relies on a dense network of capillaries that constantly deliver oxygen and nutrients. Over time, high blood sugar, stress, and poor diet cause these delicate vessels to stiffen, narrow, and lose flexibility, a condition called vascular aging. When that happens, brain cells begin to starve. Imagine a city where half the roads are blocked. Traffic slows, delivery stops, and neighborhoods start to decay. That's exactly what happens in your brain when circulation declines. This reduced flow leads to vascular dementia, a form of memory loss now considered more common than Alzheimer's itself. But here's the good news: your body can rebuild those blood highways. Through a process called angiogenesis, new vessels can form, restoring oxygen to starved brain regions. And studies show that certain nutrients, especially those found in dark, colorful plants, can trigger that regeneration. Your brain doesn't need expensive drugs to heal, it just needs better circulation. The natural molecule that keeps your brain young, nitric oxide. One of the most overlooked secrets in brain longevity is a simple gas your body makes every day: nitric oxide. This molecule relaxes and widens your blood vessels, improving blood flow to your brain. Without it, your circulation slows and your neurons suffocate. After 50, nitric oxide levels naturally drop by up to 60%, leaving the brain vulnerable to oxygen deprivation and cognitive decline. Here's the amazing part: certain foods can boost nitric oxide production naturally. Beets, spinach, and dark chocolate are among the most powerful. They contain natural nitrates and antioxidants that help your arteries stay flexible and open. The result? More oxygen, more energy, and sharper mental clarity. When you eat these foods, nitric oxide triggers a healing response in your bone marrow, releasing stem cells that repair blood vessels and brain tissue. This means you're not just preventing decline, you're actively rebuilding. Every time you choose beetroot juice over soda, or add spinach to your dinner, you're teaching your brain to grow younger again. How poor circulation shrinks the brain. If you've ever seen a brain scan of someone with advanced dementia, it's shocking. The brain literally shrinks inside the skull. What's happening isn't just loss of neurons, it's loss of circulation. Without enough oxygen, the brain begins to wither, like a plant deprived of water. But this process doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual and often invisible until symptoms like confusion, slower thinking, or forgotten names start to appear. Scientists call this process atrophy, and it's driven by oxidative stress and inflammation. Every poor meal, every sleepless night, and every spike in blood pressure accelerates it. But here's what few people realize: the process is reversible. In clinical trials, older adults who improved circulation through daily walks, antioxidant-rich foods, and improved vitamin D levels showed increased brain volume and sharper cognition. The message is simple: protect your arteries and your brain will protect you. The food that can rebuild blood vessels in the brain: there's one food that science keeps returning to: dark chocolate. Not the sugary candy bars, but pure, unsweetened cocoa rich in compounds called flavanols. These natural plant molecules act like fuel for your blood vessels, encouraging the release of nitric oxide and repairing damage caused by aging and inflammation. In a groundbreaking Harvard study, Seniors who drank 2 cups of cocoa daily for 30 days improved brain blood flow by 30%. Their memory and attention tests showed dramatic improvement. Here's why cocoa doesn't just widen your arteries, it teaches them to respond better to oxygen changes. It trains your blood vessels like a muscle. The flavonols also protect neurons from oxidative stress, the same damage that accelerates dementia, but not all chocolate works. You need at least 70% pure cocoa, preferably unsweetened or lightly sweetened with natural alternatives. The darker, the better. Drinking cocoa in the morning or before mental tasks gives your brain an oxygen boost right when it needs it most. Combined with a balanced diet rich in leafy greens, berries, and nuts, dark chocolate becomes a form of natural therapy for your circulation, one that tastes good and heals at the same time. The forgotten vitamin that protects the aging brain, one of the most underestimated nutrients for brain health, is vitamin D3. Most people associate it with bone strength, but its role in the brain is extraordinary. Vitamin D controls hundreds of genes responsible for brain repair, immune regulation, and most importantly, blood vessel elasticity. When levels are low, arteries stiffen, blood flow decreases, and memory suffers. In fact, seniors with chronic vitamin D deficiency are twice as likely to develop dementia. Here's why it matters. Vitamin D activates the production of nitric oxide, the same molecule that keeps your arteries wide and flexible. It also calms inflammation in the brain and helps prevent the buildup of amyloid plaques, the sticky proteins associated with Alzheimer's. Most people over 60 are deficient because aging skin can't produce enough from sunlight. To restore it, spend at least 15 minutes in direct morning sunlight, or consider supplements under medical guidance. Pair vitamin D with magnesium and vitamin K2. They work together to prevent calcium from hardening your arteries. Think of vitamin D as sunlight for your brain. Without it, even the best diet can't protect you fully. The powerful connection between your gut and your mind, your brain and gut are in constant conversation through something called the gut-brain axis. This link is so strong that scientists now call the gut our second brain. Within your digestive tract live trillions of bacteria that produce neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the very same chemicals that regulate mood, memory, and focus. But as we age, stress, medications, and poor diet destroy these beneficial bacteria, disrupting this delicate communication network. When your gut health collapses, inflammation spreads silently through your bloodstream and eventually reaches your brain. This inflammatory cascade has been identified as one of the earliest triggers of cognitive decline in dementia. The good news is that you can restore this balance through probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut, or through targeted supplements. One powerful strain called Lactobacillus reuteri has been shown to reduce inflammation, support immune function, and even increase oxytocin, the hormone of trust and social connection. Studies show it can improve both emotional well-being and memory retention in older adults. A healthy gut literally sends better signals to your brain, improving mood, focus, and resilience, all essential to keeping dementia away. The silent brain killer. Chronic inflammation. Inflammation is a natural defense system, but when it stays switched on for too long, it turns into a silent killer. Chronic inflammation doesn't cause pain you can feel, but it quietly damages brain cells day after day. It narrows blood vessels, slows nutrient delivery, and blocks the communication between neurons. Scientists have now identified chronic inflammation as one of the leading drivers of dementia, particularly in older adults exposed to high-stress lifestyles or processed foods. You can fight this at its root through diet. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids such as salmon, sardines, flax seeds, and walnuts act as natural anti-inflammatories. They help your brain's cell membranes stay flexible and resilient. Another overlooked ally is green tea, which contains catechins that actively reduce inflammatory molecules in the blood. But the most powerful anti-inflammatory weapon is lifestyle itself: regular sleep, daily movement, and emotional calm. Every walk, every deep breath, every early night to bed tells your immune system to relax. In turn, your brain heals faster. Controlling inflammation isn't just about longevity, it's about clarity, memory, and keeping your mind sharp and peaceful for decades to come. The brain exercise that reverses cognitive decline. You've heard the phrase, use it or lose it, and nowhere is that truer than with your brain. Every time you learn something new, your brain creates fresh connections between neurons, a process known as neuroplasticity. But when you stop challenging your mind, those connections weaken and the pathways begin to fade. Cognitive training is one of the simplest, most effective ways to fight dementia naturally. The best exercises aren't just puzzles or crosswords, they're real-world challenges that mix memory, movement, and emotion. Learning to play a musical instrument, dancing, or even walking new routes around your neighborhood stimulate multiple brain regions at once. These activities combine rhythm, coordination, and attention, exactly what your brain needs to stay strong. One study showed that seniors who practiced mental exercises for just 15 minutes a day improved their memory scores by up to 25% in 6 months. That's proof that it's never too late to grow your brain again. The key is consistency. Keep feeding your neurons new experiences, and your mind will stay alive, alert, and adaptable, no matter your age. The daily ritual that keeps your mind alive after 60 every day, your brain wakes up hungry, not just for food, but for oxygen, movement, and emotion. The most powerful way to protect your mind after 60 isn't a pill or a supplement. It's a daily ritual that combines 3 simple actions: walk, breathe, and connect. Start your morning with a 10-minute walk outdoors. This increases oxygen flow to your brain and triggers the release of nitric oxide from your arteries, keeping them flexible. Next, take 5 slow, deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. It sounds small, but those breaths calm your nervous system and reduce cortisol, the stress hormone that accelerates cognitive decline. Finally, connect. Call a friend, talk to a neighbor, or share a meal with family. Human connection releases oxytocin, which lowers inflammation and supports healthy neurotransmitter activity. Studies from Harvard show that seniors with strong social ties have a 50% lower risk of developing dementia. This daily combination, movement, oxygen, and connection, literally resets your brain chemistry every morning. It costs nothing. It takes minutes. Yet it's one of the most scientifically proven ways to slow brain aging. Do it daily, and you'll start to feel it: sharper memory, calmer thoughts, and a deeper sense of purpose. Your brain can heal at any age. Let me leave you with this truth. Your brain is not broken, it's waiting for better oxygen, cleaner fuel, and calmer signals from your body. Every healthy meal, every step, every deep breath tells your brain you are safe, you can grow again. Too many people believe that dementia is inevitable, that memory loss is just the price of getting older, but science has proven that's a lie. The human brain can rebuild blood vessels, grow new neurons, and reconnect circuits even in your 80s. I've seen it happen in my patients. People who once forgot names now remembering stories, laughter, and faces again. If you've watched this far, you're already taking the first step toward protecting your mind. Now make it real. Add one of these habits today. Maybe a morning walk, a piece of dark chocolate, a handful of nuts, or a call to someone you love. Small actions compound into transformation. If this video has opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it so others can heal too. And if you're serious about keeping your mind sharp and your body strong, subscribe now and join me, Dr. Adam Watanabe, as we uncover the science of aging well, one simple step at a time.